Did Adam and Eve have sex? Well, I suppose they must have done, but the Bible doesn't really go into any detail. But then the Bible generally does skirt around that subject. However, there is one plant which sort of tells a story of Adam and Eve having sex in the bower. Hello, sausages. Adam and Eve having sex. More about that later. I suppose the Garden of Eden would have been the ideal place to have sex before the whole snake apple cock-up situation. And the plant which tells the story is this one. This is the white dead nettle. Now, I've talked about dead nettles before. They're neither dead nor are they nettles. In fact, they're part of the mint family, and they have a sort of a very, very super square, almost strangely mathematically Newtonianly square stem. There's also a red dead nettle, which is purple, and there is a yellow dead nettle known as a yellow archangel. Any medicinal properties? Well, it's an astringent, a purgative, a diuretic, and a diaphoretic. A diuretic makes you wee, a diaphoretic makes you sweat. So it's not only Adam and Eve that are getting wet in this story. Also reputed to be antifungal and antibacterial, and you can use it as a poultice in wounds. My word, it's a first aid kit on a stick. Of course, take this kind of medical information with a pinch of salt unless you have actually any definitive proof. Apparently you can also make it into a delicious tea. Actually, I hate the smell of this plant. I think the tea would probably smell like the result of a diaphoretic and a diuretic. A sort of a tea which smells like sweat and piss. Either way, not something I want to start my day with. I mean, it's fairly easy to recognise. Obviously, it looks a bit like nettles. Nettle leaves are larger, a bit wider and more jagged. And of course, a nettle is generally a much larger plant. But when they're young, it's an easy mistake to make. But of course, these things will not sting you. So what about folklore? Well, one name for these flowers is pixie shoes. Little white shoes that look like they'd be worn by pixies. I don't think they look like shoes at all. In fact, if I look carefully at them, I think they look like little kind of druids, but with little fish tails, like druid mermaid druids. I think they were mermaid druids, don't you? So what's all this about Adam and Eve shagging? Well, if you turn the flowers upside down, there are two little lines that almost look like kind of ants lying next to each other. And this is called Adam and Eve in the bower. And obviously it's supposed to be Adam and Eve taking their rest and their pleasure in a quiet, shady place. And why not? So there's another spring green, edible, medicinal, and biblically carnal. And on that note, have a wonderful day.